Short seller Hidenberg Research has a new target. The company announcing a short position in the popular children's video game maker Roblox, alleging it's inflating its metrics. Joining us now for more, we want to bring in Michael Pachter. He is Wedbush Managing Director for Equity Research. Michael, you have an outperform rating on the stock, a $49 price target. Let's talk about this report that we just got out from Hidenberg earlier here this morning. We're seeing the reaction play out in the market. It looks like the street's a little bit concerned about some of the things that were brought up, issues that were brought up here, questions about the metrics within this report. What's your response?
You know, I don't question that anything in this report is wrong. I'm sure that they have a factual basis for everything they alleged. I'm not sure that it matters. And in particular, you know, there's really only two things that they spend a lot of time on: the number of users and the child predators on the platform. So, you know, talk about the number of users. They say that Roblox has inflated that number. And I can't question that. I don't know. And the reason they think it's inflated is that they say that each user has the potential to open up many alternate accounts. And people do. You know, I don't think the vast majority do, but some do. So they're measuring users, and that might be, you know, they might say 79.5 million daily active users when the number, according to Hidenberg, is 22% lower than that. So let's just say 60 million. Who cares? The revenues went up from 2.8 billion to 3.5 billion from 22 to 23, and they're going up again to 4.2 billion this year. So do I really care as an investor if the user count has been consistently inflated? I don't. So again, I think that's about 2/3 of the report. The other third was about child predators, and it's a serious problem. And, you know, Hidenberg accurately pointed out that Roblox spent $878 million last year on safety and security on $3.5 billion of revenue. So 25% of revenue on safety and security. What they neglected to mention was what Bloomberg reported on this past summer, which is that there were 13,000 reported incidents, self-reported by Roblox, to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. And that number was up from 3,000 the year prior. So they're catching more predators. Is that a problem? Well, yeah, the number 13,000 is scary, right? But when you think about it in the context of 80 million people visit per day and over 300 million active users, monthly active users on the platform, we're talking about 45 incidents per day out of 80 million visits. I don't think that anyone can expect these guys to come up with zero tolerance. They're spending $878 million to catch the 40 a day that they're catching. That's a lot. And honestly, I think this is like reporting on the border and looking at apprehensions and saying that's a problem at the border. It's good when you catch more people. You catch more people breaking the rules, you're going to eventually wipe them out. So I really think this report is built on, you know, a shaky foundation.
So Michael, just to follow on the instances of unsafe conditions for children on the platform, you mentioned the Bloomberg reporting. In that report, they also talk about individual users, parents of children who were consistently reaching out to Roblox, and it was falling on deaf ears. If that behavior continues, not only is it, of course, a moral problem, but also it's a legal problem potentially for the company. Is that a headwind that you're perhaps underpricing?
If the number was 1 million or 2 million or 5 million,
we don't know.
We don't know. What we do know is that the number of predators captured, apprehended, and reported went up dramatically, and it's still a small fraction of a percent of engagement. It's nothing. And, you know, I think that the truth is, no, we haven't had anybody, you know, anecdotally, sure. Can you find a parent? Yes, you can. But can you find 1 million? I mean, we would know. If there was that many people would be boycotting Roblox, and it's just not happening. Each of these two reports, Bloomberg and Hidenberg, cites about a dozen, you know, examples of predators, maybe 25 or 30 in the Hidenberg report. Out of 300 million, I mean, of course you're going to find that. What I think is interesting, though, is Bloomberg pointed out accurately that most of the predatory activity is shifted over to Discord. That the predators, you know, groom the kid, recruit the kid, and then get him to go over to Discord so they can molest them, you know, over internet molest them, you know, share pictures or whatever, because Discord isn't policed as well as Roblox. And Bloomberg acknowledged that. Discord's a bigger cesspool. So I think the fact that you can't get it done on Roblox speaks volumes about the efficacy of their safety and security.
Michael, I guess my real quick question for you as we wrap this up is about partnerships and how that plays into safety. When you take into account that they do have partnerships with well-known brands, including Nike, Walmart, L'Oreal, does that put that in jeopardy? Does that matter? Or is that just a small piece of the pie?
It matters a lot over the long run, but I don't think that anyone can make the argument that Roblox is less safe than the cesspool formerly known as Twitter, and they get advertisers, or the cesspool that is formerly known as Facebook, Meta. Those guys have bad activity, Nazis out there, people actually conducting terrorism on their sites. So no, I think that a brand is going to be concerned, and I think Roblox can show them the data, and I think put the brand at ease. You're going to have bad people anywhere you go. Spending a quarter of revenue to try to root those people out speaks volumes to the integrity of management and to the efforts they're putting in.
All right, Michael, thanks so much for joining us on this semi-breaking news today. I really appreciate it. Michael Pachter over at Wedbush.